right, well, good morning, grade 9s. Listen, for the at-home group today, and I forget who that is, quite frankly. I always forget on the weekend who I'm supposed to see on Monday, but I have a feeling I saw cohort B on Friday? Anyway, I can't remember. But listen, guys, yeah, no, maybe I saw cohort A. Anyway, I can't remember anymore. So whoever I see tomorrow, in school we're actually going to do a couple of labs, okay? And yeah, that's one of the things that we're going to be doing in class. You can't really do it at home. So, like for the people at home, we're going to have a quiz coming up this week, and for both cohorts, of course, but starting with whoever's at home on Monday. Okay, on Tuesday, I'm thinking of a little quiz on significant digits and everything. So, like here, you don't have to know the order of the rules or anything like that. So let me show you. You don't have to know the order of these rules or anything. You just have to, here, I'll go to the page 1 where we had the rules listed out like this. You don't have to know them in order, but you just have to know them, okay? And so if you get questions like these questions here, how many significant digits are there, okay, and so on, that's it. And also you should be able to do calculations and round it to the correct number of significant digits, so that's basically it. Now I have a short practice sheet for you, but before we do that, there's actually a measurement sheet also. So I want to show you how measurements work with sig figs today, and we're going to do this in class also, okay? But also in class we're doing some labs, so your at-home lesson is quite short today, okay? Just so you know. It won't take very long, so I'll explain it right now if this will resolve a little better for me. Okay, here we go. Okay, so what it says here, and I know I explained this to you on Friday, we did one of them already, but what it says here, it says, like, read each instrument to their limits, include the correct number of sig figs. Now the rule is, and there is a rule, I'm going to write the rule here in the margin. The rule for doing this, okay, the basic rule, whoops, let me change the color. Green, it's not St. Patrick's Day yet. Okay, well, it's still green, there. All right, so the basic rule is the last digit in a measurement, it's acting up on me here, in a measurement is estimated between the smallest graduation, whoops, whoa, marks. Okay, now let me explain that. Wow, it is really being silly today. Okay, so let me explain what that means. What that means is you always read one more digit, one last digit past the smallest mark, okay, when you're reading these instruments. So we have a variety of instruments we're going to be looking at here. If you remember, okay, on Friday, we did one of these already, but I just want to point this out to you. If you look at the largest measurement here, it's 500 grams. Now, the 500 gram mark, this weight, which I'll highlight in yellow, is pointing right on the 500 gram mark. Okay, so this is called the triple beam balance. Now, above the 500 gram mark is numbers going from 10 to 100 grams here. So that's actually the second digit. So this is 570. Okay, so 570. And then at the bottom here, and I'll highlight it in green, at the bottom here is the ones digit. Okay, so we see it's 577. Now we have markings in between 577. So I'm going to write down those digits, 577, like this. Okay, now I'm going to put a decimal point. Now if I count these markings, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to write 6 here. But then it's not right on the dot, okay? Oh, I erased my little green mark there. It's not right on the dot. So I'm going to estimate the last digit, and I feel like that's very close to the next marking, closer than it is to the 6, the 0.6. It's closer to 0.7. So I'm going to write 0.68. Whoops. I'll go back to black for that, 0.68. And that whole thing's in grams, of course. And I'm just going to highlight that number 8 for you. That number is an estimate. Okay? So in other words, you always estimate one more digit past the smallest marking. So the smallest marking on this goes to tenths of a gram. Okay, like 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, 7.4. That's these small graduation marks that you see here. And then you estimate, that last digit. So if it were right on the dot, for example, if it was like 77.6 exactly, and I thought that the next digit, like it wasn't really in between, I would write 577.60 then. I would still write that last digit. In other words, this instrument is good up to 2 decimal places when you're measuring in grams like this. All right, so now here right next to it, we've got another one that's virtually the same thing, right? And so here, again, you read the first digit here, 400. The second digit I'll circle in red, so it's 490, okay? And then this looks like 498 point, this marking here is 0.9. I would say 0.99 pretty much, right? So I would write 498.99 grams. Okay, and that's it. So that's how you do it. Now, some of these other instruments are weird, a little bit weird. The meniscus here in the thing of water, don't forget, I told you this on Friday, but you have to measure from the bottom of the meniscus. Okay, so what the meniscus means is like when you fill a graduated cylinder with water, okay, and let's say this whole thing is filled with water down here, until you get to this little weird like cusp at the top. That's how water sits in a cylinder like this. You read that cusp from the bottom edge to get the millimeter reading, okay? So if I look at this, it looks to me like this millimeter mark is exactly on this line right here, okay? So now, just reading the values off the line, here we see they go up by 5s, okay? So, for example, 15 mils is this green line here. This is 15 mils, okay? This is 16, 17, 18, 19, and then finally 20 is up here. So this is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so in other words, the tick marks go up by 0.5s, the small tick marks, and the larger tick marks are going up by 1s, 15, 16, 17. So I don't have, like I can read one more digit past the 1's value, okay? So in this case, my smallest value is my smallest value is a 0.5, pardon me. All these little tick marks are 0.5 apart, okay? So you can read 1 decimal past that. So watch what I do when I write down this number. Obviously, the first number is 15. Here is 16, 17, 18. So that's 18 right there. So I'm going to write 18 decimal. Okay, and it looks like it's exactly 0.5. So I'm going to write 18.5. And since it's exactly on the dot 0.5, I have to write 0.50. I always read 1 more decimal place past that last tick mark. Always. Okay? And this is in milliliters, so I write down the unit. And that's it. That's how you do it. So I'm going to let you try doing the rest of these measurements. If it's a ruler or a thermometer, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, like rulers, you just read it straight off. You're trying to measure the length of the gray bar. See, this is in millimeters, so I would say that is like 87.40 millimeters, for example. Okay, and that's what you do. Okay, so give those measurements a try. There is a page 2, I believe. yeah, so there's like 2 pages of things. We're going to take this up tomorrow before you have a quiz on it, but this will be on the quiz too, making measurements like that. Now, I did include a short worksheet for you, for the people at home, and this is where we're going to end here today. It's only been a 10-minute video so far. So here, what you're supposed to do in this case is write down the measurement to the correct level of precision. Okay, so like I said, you go 1 digit past the smallest tick mark, right? So here, these are in whole numbers, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then 20 is over here. Okay, so you read 1 more decimal, so this would be 16.8, let's say. You're estimating that last digit. Okay, now here in the next example, though, you have some tick marks in between, and so this would be 15.85 or something like that. So you can actually read just past that last tick mark. Okay, so anyway, write down the measurements just like before, see if you can get it. Pardon me, a little tired. And then here we have some rules: addition and subtraction, multiplication, or just addition and subtraction, and so on here. Okay, and here what you're supposed to do is determine the number of sig figs. So it's just a little practice for the quiz. And here you do the calculations. So when you're multiplying and dividing, the answer cannot have more sig figs than the original number. So here the calculation has been done correctly for you. You need to round these off, okay, to the correct numbers of sig figs, okay? So you need to round off. And I will let you decide how many decimal places to keep based on the rules that we discussed for that. Oh, pardon me, it's like 11 p.m. past my bedtime. Gotta get my, my beauty sleep. Okay, guys, so that's it for the lesson for today. So please complete those sheets. There's not very much there. I would say you've got like maybe a half hour of work. I did post a lab there, but we'll save that for when we're in class. It's kind of a fun lab. The sense of being stared at. We'll test your extrasensory powers, okay, in the morning of the next day, so Tuesday morning for you. And then I also have another lab for you as well. All right, so guys, that's basically it. And we're going to look at how to do a formal lab reports this week, but we'll also have a quiz on significant digits. So you can expect that likely on Tuesday, maybe towards the end of the period. And then the other cohort will write it on Wednesday. All right, guys, so that's it for now. Have a great day and enjoy the light work while it lasts. Later when we do a lab report, that'll take a little more time. So enjoy this sort of, just a small amount of work for now. I posted all your other marks, by the way. You might want to check those on Teacher Ease. And some of you have some things missing. So please take care of it. Otherwise, that's it. All right, have a good day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.